a fucking monster for this one.
Okay, what up world, it's Rek. And if you new, you know what to do. Go ahead and subscribe. I'm back, and this time, I'm back with a UFC video now. This is my introduction to my UFC series that I'm going to be bringing to the table to my channel. From now on, I will be posting UFC regularly. Most of you know me from my GTA videos. Some of you are creeping in just because you see UFC in the title. Some of you are creeping in for the first time. Some of you are coming from the UFC community and you already know me. Regardless of how you know me, I'm glad you're here. And I hope that you would continue to watch and be entertained by my UFC videos. Like I said, basically this is a intro. I want to give some background information. As you can see on the screen, in Ultimate Team, I am ranked in the top 100 leaderboards. Just under 2,000 wins, not that many losses, 87% win percentage. Basically, in my Ultimate Team journey, I've accomplished a lot of things. I got a lot of weekly accolades, you know, as you see the leaderboard status. Pretty much anybody there was to beat in my division, I beat them. I'm not saying I was the best, but when it comes to striking, nobody in the lightweight, I was second to none in the lightweight division. There were two people who evenly matched with me. One was named Tylenol, and the other one is like, his name is like Pro of Life or some shit like that. I got respect for their stand-up games, but other than that, nobody was fucking with my stand-up. There were a lot of people who had the grappling well over me, but pretty much if you couldn't take me to the ground and submit me early enough, you were getting knocked out or you were gonna lose. So pretty much the main thing that made people hate playing against me was how good I am on the feet. So basically what I did was I stopped playing UFC for a while, and now I come back, I delete my lightweight character, and I'm starting fresh in heavyweight just because, number one, I want some fresh faces and I want a fresh division. I'm tired of playing in the same division. Number two, I always felt like heavyweight was a little bit more challenging for me because you have less stamina and less speed. Always felt like I was more at a handicap, so I want to step out of my comfort zone and see if I can be the best striker in the heavyweight division and just see how well I can do in the heavyweight division. I want to see how much of a better player playing in a division that I'm not comfortable in, how much of a better player it'll make me. So what I'm going to do this time is I want to capture this shit, and I want to bring you guys on my journey, along with my journey, to see everything that I do. All the top players that I beat, all the statuses and the wiki accolades that I get, all the fun that I have, you know, as I build my character from a 65 overall, hopefully all the way up to 100. Now, before in the lightweight division, I could never get my overall up to 100. I got my overall up to 92 without paying a cent. Well, no, I did pay $2, two measly ass dollars, and I got my overall up to a 92 overall. But I'm pretty sure I don't need to say that $2 basically didn't help. I just bought that shit because I seen some shit on sale. But yeah, I pretty much got my overall up with no money, and I had a pretty high overall, yes, but my attributes were not high in the places where I would have liked them to be high. For example, my choke defense was low. My submission choke defense was very low, and when you're going against maxed out submission offense jiu-jitsu grapplers who are very good at grappling, submitting, you need that to be at least a 90. Mine wasn't even, I don't even think, it was barely 80. I think it might have been like, I don't know, but it wasn't high enough. My clinch power, my clinch takedowns, and my basic takedowns, and my takedown defense was not where I wanted it to be. It was low. And once again, when you're going against jiu-jitsu fighters and wrestlers, that's where you want to be at, and things of that nature. So right now, when I'm starting over in the heavyweight division, I'm going to be more cautious and more focused on how I build my character up. That lightweight was pretty much my first guy that I made. Well, it wasn't my first, but I made that guy when the game first came out. So now am I not only going to pay close attention to the stats and how I built my guy, I'm also going to keep my losses down to a minimum and try to keep my win percentage to at least a 90. I don't really care about staying undefeated, but I want my win percentage to stay at least a 90, and I know I can definitely do that. If my shit was an 87 on my first like noob guy that I made, on this second guy, now that I know everything about the game, it's going to be easy keeping it to a 90. Now, I have spent a lot of time playing this game, but I don't play this game 24/7. There are people in the UFC community definitely who play this game 24/7. And the only reason why I'm able to keep up with them in a match is because I have been playing UFC games since UFC Undisputed 2009. And I've been good in every single game. I have a lot of experience when it comes to these games, and I have a high interest level. And plus, when I take interest in something, I become good at it. I soak in all the information. Every single time I lose, I pick apart why I lost, and I try to improve off it. So if somebody beats me, that's not doing anything but helping me, because every single time I lose, I get better. Even when I win, even when I'm fighting a noob, I learn things every time I fight. So without further ado, let's jump start this series into a few fights. If you guys have this game and you would like to have a match with me, drop down in the comments. Maybe we'll fight. But beforehand, make sure you have a creative fighter created in any division. It doesn't matter. And we're ready to go. But 80 overall is the max for a scheduled fight. You cannot go over at 80 overall if you create your fighter. Anyways, let's jump straight into this. Basically, going into the first fight here. Now, what I'll be doing in future episodes, in episodes like this, I'll be showing 5 quick finishes. In high level fights, whenever I have high level fights, they will be separated and they would just be in videos by themselves. And I'll commentate high level fights, obviously against high level players where it takes more than one round to finish. Maybe it might go the distance, maybe it might finish round 3, 4, or 5, whatever. But most of my fights end in the first or second round. Most of them end very quickly because I get matched up most of the time with average or below average players, and they just cannot stand toe to toe with me. Even experienced players sometimes really get ended in the first round. You really have to be an expert to beat me or make it last past the first or second round. Basically, right now I'm on the coin grind. In UFC Ultimate Team, you have to fight, earn coins, and with those coins you have to buy fight packs, and with those fight packs you use to upgrade your fighter and make them stronger and better. Now, grinding for coins could take a while, and that's why a lot of people think that you cannot get your fighter to a high level without paying for those fucking fight packs, which isn't true, but it just takes some commitment, and you have to have a strong will. You have to be able to accept a loss and swallow it. It doesn't matter if the dude only won because of his stats. Don't send him a message, don't rage, don't throw your controller. Accept it, go into another match. A lot of people cannot do that. I even have a hard time doing it sometimes, but I'm so used to it that I could just grind. And hey, when I do a coin chase, I even still go undefeated most of the time just because of my experience. So when you're grinding for coins, experience and skill will help you a lot when you're at disadvantage. Sometimes I have no choice but to suck it up and be overall 70 to 80 fighting a max person. Sometimes I have to suck it up and I still win. Sometimes I bring it to a close fight. Who knows? But regardless, it doesn't stop me. I just keep grinding. And I know for those of you out there who are getting started and you don't have any previous fight packs stacked up from other previous characters, and you're just basically starting with a 65 overall and that's it, I know it can be hard. It can be fucking hard. I didn't have that problem because back when the game first came out, everybody was in the same situation. Now for you guys not getting started, it seems like hell. It seems like it makes, I don't even know if I want to do it, but all I can say is don't give up. Before you know it, you'll be overall 70, then you'll be overall 80. And hey, you'll be able to contend. I do have a lot of tricks up my sleeve that I hope low-level people and inexperienced people to get better in Ultimate Team and get their player up. I have some tricks up in my sleeve, of course, and I will be releasing tutorials in the future, but that's for future videos. Right now, this is just an intro. I'm just going to be chill with the commentary. I'm not going to go play-by-play with the fight so intense. I'm just going to give some background, points and information. Why do I play Ultimate Team? And why do I not play Championship is a question people ask. Number one, in Championship mode, my record is 681 wins and 89 losses. So I do play Championship mode sometimes when I'm bored. And as you just heard, my record is pretty good. But I don't really have interest in Championship mode. Why do I prefer and why do I like Ultimate Team? It's simple. I just feel like in my style, the way I prefer to play the game, I like to come with my own creative fighter, the way I want to look, with my own moves, the way I want to fight, my own game plan, my own strategy, my own fighting style. I like to completely have somebody that I built from the ground up and come with all my preferred tools and utilize them and fight other people against their own creations and their own styles and their own game plans. That's what I like to do. I like to be at my 100% comfort preference, and I like the other person to be at their 100. And they bring their style to me, and we have a style versus style clash. That's what I like to do. You can be different. That's your personal preference. This is my personal preference. Now, in the UFC community, there is a rivalry. Roster players, which basically roster means real fighters, like real life UFC fighters. Roster players, people who prefer to play roster, and people who prefer to create their own players. They tend to not like each other. It's mainly roster players who basically think it takes no skill to use creative fighters, where I know it's the exact opposite. Basically, I think it takes no skill to go in the quick match, which is quick match is basically an unranked match where you just go practice. It's basically noobland. I think it takes no skill to go in the quick match, create a quick 2-second overall 100 everything maxed out character, and fight people who are using roster. Yeah, I think that takes no skill, but I think it takes some more skill to come to Ultimate Team or go to quick match and have a creative fighter versus creative fighter match. A match where one person is at their 100 and the other person is at their 100. They have their style ready. You have your style ready. And y'all collide and see who comes out on top. Or an Ultimate Team, it takes way more skill to fight through adversity, to be at a lower overall and beat somebody at a higher overall and consistently do that. It takes more skill and more brain power to do that, and I do it all the time. Where you're fighting somebody who's that much stronger than you, where all you have to do is get hit once and the fight is over, and you don't get hit once. Not only do you not get hit once, you hit that person 100 times and beat them. That takes more skill. Now compared to roster, whereas in roster, people are just they're not really using their favorite fighters in real life. They're using who they have to use. They're using the best fighters in the division. They're using the Khabibs. They're using the Conor McGregors, the John Joneses, the Verdums, the Cain Velasquez, the George St. Pierres, the Dominic Cruzes, the TJ Dillashaws. That's who they're using. And let's say my favorite fighter is Edson Barboza in the lightweight division, and I want to use Edson Barboza. I want to represent with some Edson Barboza online. Well, let's say I come against an expert Khabib player. Guess what's going to happen? I'm getting took into the ground, and I'm getting dry humped, and there's not much that I can do about it because roster fighters are built like that. Let's say I'm a good striker, and I want to use Max Holloway. Max Holloway is my favorite fighter in the featherweight division. And here comes a Conor McGregor expert. I'm getting my ass knocked the fuck out. Let's say I want to use, let's say I like fucking Manawa up at light heavyweight. Guess who I'm going to run into every time? John Jones, Alexander Gustafsson. Heavyweight, Cain Velasquez. We're doomed. If I want to use anybody like Mark Hunt or Warren Nelson or Alistair Overeem. In a lot of ways, they both take no skill and they both take skill. So they cancel each other out, and it all comes down to personal preference. I think everybody shut the fuck up and do their thing. I'll admit, it's so sad how pay to win Ultimate Team is, but I've wanted a ranked creative fighter versus creative fighter system for a while. Now that I have it, I have to play it.